Welcome to the 217 Recovery Podcast.
If you don't make mistakes, you won't learn.
With your host, Corey Winfield.
What do you do in the morning? Like, everybody just runs to the bathroom to fight over pooping time? Or, like, you got poop after someone else poops? Like, what if you have to poop real bad, someone else is pooping, and you just gotta wait?
Special guest, Corey Smoker.
You think that it's not in your workplace, at least this information and training for your staff and your employees can be information to help them.
Jesse Smoker.
I looked at my wife like, take it back. Tendinitis. She's like, I got tendinitis in my wrist. I'm like, what you mean?
Mitchell O'Brien.
I really hate to do this to you guys, but I really have to go to the bathroom really bad.
Got your ass.
I just can't hold it anymore.
Let's throw it out there. Let's just start the podcast. It is June 20th. It's a Friday. I'm Corey Winfield. Yeah. This is the 217 Recovery Podcast. And Mitch, Corey, Jesse, you're here. We're talking, I don't know what or how, because, you brought up the holiday, Corey, that we should mention it. And Jesse said, what holiday? And he said, Juneteenth. And he said, well, okay, what? And then we kind of picked it up from there with Corey explaining that it was, what did you say?
The day the slaves were freed.
The day the slaves were freed, which I don't believe is the correct term for it. The story I had heard about some story that they had written about in a book or a history thing or something about this guy in Texas. It was pretty much the last person to know he was free. And he found out about it, and it was like 4 or 5 years later after the slaves had been freed. I mean, you're kind of thankful, if you're the guy, but you're still kind of pissed. Like, really? Nobody could send me a telegram? Like, nobody could just holler at me? Or, I mean, really? And then the slave masters to keep it up? Like, I can't believe there's not a movie made. And maybe there is a movie made about it, but that would be a pretty interesting movie.
It reminds me of the guy who was put on the remote Pacific island during World War II and was like, you have to secure this base, make sure nothing happens, and then was forgotten about until 30 years after the war.
Yeah.
That happened too.
Dude, I'm killing everybody when I find out. I'm going to be so mad.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, it's like prison time. Okay.
Yeah.
Ask me what I'm in for, and I'm going to tell you that, yep, I did that. But here's what happened, and I can explain it to you. You're not going to think I'm that crazy guy who just doing stuff like that for no reason. But
I didn't quite read the whole thing about the holiday. I'm going back to that. But I do know because Kim was saying that there was a holiday tomorrow. No, she's like, but what holiday? She goes, because the bank's going to be closed. And so I Googled it, and all I heard her say was, she goes, shit, that holiday is my holiday. Gotta go.
And again, I'm no history major. I could be completely 100% wrong with that story.
I think you're right, because I do remember something about Texas in there.
Yeah. So, I mean, but again, Google it yourself and see what your Google tells you. But I heard that from some sources that I trust usually. So.
Usually.
I don't remember something, I guess, enough to make me remember it to go, oh, okay, that's what happened. Like, that's interesting. But no, we were talking about all kinds of stuff before we did the podcast. And that's when I was like, man, we should just start doing a podcast. And it's Friday. Want to have a little fun today. And I don't remember what we were talking about, but it seemed absolutely ridiculous. It was like some kind of porn thing. Or I don't even know what was going on. Like, it definitely was not appropriate for work, and I just wanted to bring it up.
One of our children had sciatica or something like that.
Oh, no, that was tendinitis.
Oh, that's what it was. Yes,
tendinitis.
Yes, that was the one that was.
Yeah, in her right wrist.
Yes. And, because I was getting the camera stuff out, and you're like, oh, somebody, blah, 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 and somebody has tendinitis, and you're like, what are you talking about? Like, oh, you're the one who brings it up. So then I'm like curious, I'm like, well, who in your family has tendinitis?
You remember porn from
And then I don't hear anything, so I turn around, I look at you guys, and, Jesse, you're sitting in the guest chair, and Corey was sitting in the chair in the doorway, and you're both just kind of looking. Well, you tell them. I'm like, well, who has it? And it's like, oh, daughter. I'm like, where, huh? She has tendonitis in her elbow.
No,
And then-
it's in her wrist.
It's in her wrist.
It's same, pretty much same.
But she called yesterday and said she went to urgent care because her wrist was hurting. And now she's on speakerphone, right?
Oh my God.
Right.
Like DraftKings, what are you doing? Call us. We got your TV show. We got it. You're gonna make so many people laugh. You don't care about money. You got enough of that. Seriously, you want to entertain the masses? We got you. Here you go. There you go. That's how we just started our TV show, Traverse City Hillbillies.
Is that
Or us.
it's that TV show? So it kind of reminds me of The Righteous Gemstones, but also Jason Bateman was in a TV show with a bunch of other famous people where they're like rich family.
Arrested Development.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
Yeah, but that's too much because when you said that, I looked at Jessica and then I like fell out laughing and giggling because I was like, some questions like, how do you what? Because I don't remember her playing tennis.
I had a lot of questions myself. She calls, and I'm always grateful she calls. It's good to hear her voice. Mom's happy, and she's like, went to the doctors. I'm like, okay.
Added an S on it.
And I got tendonitis. I looked at my wife like, huh?
Take it back.
Tendonitis? She's like, I got tendonitis in my wrist. I'm like, what you mean? You 17. How do you have tendonitis already? And I'm thinking, hopefully you got a long, prosperous life. But at 17, you got tendonitis. You got a long way to go in life before you can start
all
claiming.
that hard work she's been doing, and all the floors you guys make her scrub, and all that farm work you guys have her doing. It's just a lot of stress on her.
I found it real interesting. Just okay, we're going to be running with tendonitis for a long while now.
Obviously.
But then what's worse is, so then she's like, well, I called you because the doctor needed permission to treat me. And I'm like, yeah, well, I didn't answer because I'm at work. Like, yeah, I know. So I called my dad and he answered. I was like, oh, God. And she goes, so then the doctor asks, yeah, what's your daughter's date of birth? And she goes, Mom, it was a long pause. Like a long pause. Your birthday is the day before his. He goes, yeah, and then he couldn't even say my birth year, and then he's like, I think 2012. She was born in 2007. I mean, come on.
Obviously. Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord.
Winner, chicken dinner. That's what happens when you use. That's the kind of crazy and the shit that I got myself into using.
Yeah.
Get sober, evaluate the situation. Never in a million years would I have stuck around.
Mm-hmm.
But I lived life. I learned a lot of hard lessons, and now that's why I'm here today. Don't regret the past. Can't shut the door on it.
Mm-mm. All you can do, and they say, all you can do is hope not to repeat it. And it's more than a hope not to repeat it, because there's situations you could have went down the same hole millions of times,
Mm-hmm.
but it's catching yourself in those situations or finding yourself in those situations like, oh, this person's fun, or, oh, I like shopping with this person, or maybe it was, early on, or you could have easily went down the wrong path. All of us could have. We all know people who have died.
Yep.
That means we were in contact with them at one point in our recovery. We could have easily been like, hey, let's go to the movies or whatever, like we could have went down the wrong path and thought, oh, well, yeah, I can drink again. Or I can smoke this. I can snort that. That'd be fun tonight. No one will know. That's how it starts, but we don't have to do that today. And even with, 17-year-old, she's 17 still.
Yep.
Your 17-year-old daughter, however she injured her wrist, if they give her medications, only so much you can do as a parent. And it could be dangerous. You know, so as someone, a parent, you know, and someone in recovery, I'm sure you've already had plenty of talks with your daughter about drugs and the effects and what happens and stuff. And just like people had talks with us. Okay, it's not going to happen to us though.
Yeah.
Them other people, you know, it's ridiculous what we'll talk ourselves into. But yeah, as long as we can at least share that and be open, and they know they can come to us and we're not going to judge them, you know. And for me, I'm just going to lock Parker up. I'm going to take him to an island somewhere. We're just going to be chilling. I'm going to tell him like, no, this is us. He's going to be kind of weirded out by the plane that drops off all the food and all the workers that like work on the mansion and stuff like that. But that's fine. I'll make up a story about how, those are the only other people that exist only to service us.
Yeah. And you just live like a village like Moana.
Go swim in the lake. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just with the air conditioning, you know, you'll need air conditioning.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man. Or if, you know, there's an island with no bugs, which I heard like in Hawaii, there's no bugs or something. Or no mosquitoes. That's what it is. Maybe just look at me like I just said something that was really stupid.
I was like, I don't know.
That's why I'm saying it. I'm realizing that was stupid.
Say,
no
cockroaches.
No
like
bugs. But if there was a place with no bugs whatsoever.
Antarctica. It exists. Nice.
And here's the kicker. It's nice 65 degrees all year round.
Oh, no. Below.
Like what is the perfect temperature that bugs don't like?
Cold.
I'm going to build a dome.
I'm going to say Northern Michigan's pretty good for like 7 months. 7 months out of the year, I think Northern Michigan does good.
No skeeter dome.
But until them bugs come out.
Right.
Something about the cold doesn't quite kill the bugs. I don't know what it is.
Make your dome out of cedar wood. They hate that.
If we could get the aliens to change the DNA in bugs so that cold kills them all, but then they're like, no, we got to feed the birds. I'm like, well let the birds eat something better. Change their DNA to let them eat something else that sucks.
Cold already kills all the bugs. It's just got to get like 30 degrees or something, like really low.
We need someone to change the programming so that, so that
you know the
birds eat weeds.
Weeds?
Yeah, God, what's up? Make the birds eat the weeds so they don't have to eat the bugs and get rid of all bugs. Send me an email and let me know what else I'm missing. Just chat GPT it to me.
Yeah, we need to talk.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I mean, if there's another bug that we need to like make something else eat or live, maybe we can let slide. But what's the purpose of them? You know,
I think let's just get rid of them skeeters and the tape.
Yeah,
we could.
Parasites.
Last night, I had a dinner with in-laws, which it was fun. It was cool. Went over there. It was a good time. But we started talking about something, and I started going on this rabbit hole, and I had to shut up. And the whole time I'm driving home, I'm thinking about it, and I'm wanting to say something to Marnie, but she is at a point of just shut your mouth, Corey.
Obviously.
Yep. So I did. Then we get home, just about home, and I'm like, oh, crap, your car is at work. Let's turn back around. So we had to come all the way back. And anyway, so when we're there, they start talking about like birth, or so we got on like a subject of like birth or something, and cavemen and older times. How did this happen? And of course, my mind starts really going back to the caveman times, and I'm like, dude, like Marnie, we've had this discussion. We already talked about it on the podcast. Like, men were not built for kids. Like, kids and men, we're supposed to be out there fighting dinosaurs and stuff and doing what we do. There's no way. I mean, Parker, when he was literally little, you know, I feel like I dealt with a lot of it. But man, there was times where I'm like, how, like, and I start picturing myself in caveman time. Like, I'm holding the baby, like, no, you know, I'm being chased by a dinosaur. Here you go. I'm tossing that baby up. Here you go. You know, and I don't know, a woman, you know, women, that's why they're so special, I think, because they have this instinct that, and the people say it's natural. Maybe it is, maybe it's not, you know, because not all moms, I think, are great, but they still have this instinct, I think, in there. We don't. You know, like a lion's chasing you. What are you doing? Here you go.
But I think
I've only known you a couple weeks, little buddy.
Right.
I can make more of you.
Right. I only need to outrun you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna throw you up real high. Okay.
Yeah.
The lion's gonna wait for you. Give daddy some time.
Yeah.
Where they think the provider / mother, like, nurture came from was there's real saber-tooth tigers out there trying to eat us. So daddy had to protect and feed. Mommy had to shut that kid up so that tiger didn't find him, you know?
And I'm not saying that men can't do it. I'm not saying that at all. Because there's women that have to step up to be that dad role too, and women do it. But as far as like that natural, like how I'm feeling, you know, obviously I didn't throw my kid into the woods or anything, you know, but thinking about it, you know, like back in the day, but we started going down this rabbit hole of kids and making kids. And I'm like, how do you even make kids back in caveman days? Like, it would not be a fun experience. You had no toilet paper.
They didn't know any better.
No, but it wouldn't be fun.
It was for them.
Nah, like it is today.
Dude,
like it's fun, but like back in the day, like it wouldn't be fun. Like I bet women were running around like just trying to throw men against rocks, and it wouldn't be fun.
Even during like the what did we watch that? What was that dragon movie we watched during COVID? Game of Thrones? Thor? What was it?
Yeah.
House of Dragon or something?
No, but
yeah, they have sex in that, and I wanted the same. Like,
but
ooh,
dude, I mean,
like
that doesn't look good when the babies come out like that. Yeah, I don't
and just
know.
that part of it too, the coming out, but the putting, the making the baby part is what I'm talking about. Like, it just wouldn't be fun.
I think back then it was more of a survival of the fittest situation.
I wonder if people couldn't smell back then.
Well, what I'm trying to say is
like,
they
when
didn't
did we know
what clean
we could
smelled
smell?
like.
When was smell invented?
Because everybody smelled the same, right?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
I'm thinking.
If you live in a house with cat feces all over, guess what? You don't even know it.
Yeah.
Cause if you don't clean it and you leave the house, other people are like, dude, just like when we smoked.
That's my biggest fear today. Like, honey, I think our house smells like dog. Like, it doesn't. I'm like, no, I think it does. So back then, I think everything just smelled like, ugh. Because nobody was brushing their teeth. When
was cologne invented? Well, I'm talking like millions of years before that.
You had to be royalty to have that stuff. The only people who knew how to smell good were rich and royal people.
Right.
So everybody else, they liked that stank.
No, I think caveman.
They knew that was time for the snoozing.
I think the caveman would take mint leaves and rub it on the old gents, you know? Maybe not mint, maybe rosemary or...
Yeah, I was going to say mint would
maybe
be
not rosemary.
A little bit of a sensation.
He's not there baking a turkey. A little rosemary on there.
That Bengay feel.
Bengay feel.
Go south, he's like, oh, they're using cayenne pepper. What caveman talk.
It was that movie 10,000 BC forever ago. It was so terrible, but I loved it when it came out because it was like cavemen. And he goes south, and these other tribe gives him a pepper, and he's, the hell is this? He puts it in his mouth. He's like, oh.
Like, what a dick. Like, why would you do that? Like, you meet another person from a different civilization. Like, if somebody, like, came here, like, we're going to give him some, like, fake candy that just turns his mouth sour and blue. Here you go.
It's a delicacy. We love this.
What assholes. Like, we wouldn't do that. That's stupid. No, we probably would.
That's why I think aliens have been here and they left, because we screwed with them.
Yeah, but that's when I started down this other rabbit hole of, okay, like, it doesn't make sense. And I want somebody to explain it to me. I want to go into like some kind of history room or a teacher, somebody really smart, or they can just send me a video. I'll watch it. Just explain it to me. Like, how did it happen? Because they're just like, oh, evolution. We went from like fish to the, okay, whatever. I thought that was already like blown up because of the DNA thing, but whatever. Then show me how the fish happened. Year one, what happened? Just a little guy had a little arm? No, it didn't. Like, that's stupid. But like, think about how really did it happen? Because you got to have a man, a woman. You can't. Parker, I know he's one. He wouldn't make it. You got to have the mom. They didn't have formula. They didn't have a store you go buy formula from. Like, how? Where did we come from? It just doesn't make sense. And then just rabbit hole after rabbit hole. And I'm just like, and Mitch is like, I love this stuff. I can't wait to talk.
No, I just can't. Obviously. I can't speak with you about it because you hold on to your psycho ideas so hard.
My psycho ideas. They're just questions that I want answers to.
There are real theories out there, but every time I present you with them, you're like, no, I don't fucking make any sense. I was like, neither does what you're
Well, cutting penises off of people or whatever and eating scrotums. Like,
What?
Okay. There was
What are you talking?
We did an episode about it.
Stop. Okay.
Wait, where did that come from?
Because you said like cutting, they had to get, it was like, here, go cut off some scrotums after our victory. We did a podcast.
Wasn't
on
that
that
a
was
Bible?
That was David. That was the Bible.
See, like I was crazy in my crazy ways.
Well, no, I was bringing that up because it's crazy. Obviously, it wasn't scrotums; it was foreskin.
Oh, it's the same thing or whatever. It's probably not, but
I have to say, we're going to go back to the smelling real quick, is a natural sense, and it wasn't ever invented.
well, I claim I invented it today. Then
It just has,
The Christopher Columbus.
and I got it on tape and everything.
I discovered America.
Yep.
Obviously.
I'm gonna tell my client today. My boss discovered smelling today.
you should tell her. She'll-
in your parents' ass. She flip her lid.
no,
Turn this car around. Take me back.
Those poor people before today that couldn't smell.
she's the best person. You should say that your boss just invented smelling today.
Have you ever smelled something? Well, yeah. Are you sure? It was invented today.
Day after Juneteenth.
Is that air you're breathing?
6/20/25. Smell that? Oh, that was invented by.
Obviously.
I've invented some smells.
Oh, Jesus.
Obviously.
Yes.
Well, we know what smell. We know you could smell before today.
Well, I had the video of it. When I discovered that I had smell, I was sitting in my office and Mitch had just come back from lunch. He went to the bathroom. I'm in here and I'm like, what is it?
Dude,
What is happening?
before Parker was born, you were having your wife's pregnancy symptom. You couldn't eat anything in this office. You two would walk in the door. I remember I had a bag open, not even near you, of chili cheese Fritos.
Man, no.
You walk in the door, you're like, the hell is that smell? Somebody died in here. Did somebody shit?
I think that's what I was like, smell like feet. You
like,
eat Cheetos or Fritos.
I'm like having a friggin' snack, man.
I come in here,
Gross
man.
one.
It's a Golden Corral buffet layout on the table. I'm like, what's going on, man? It's like, it doesn't smell good. It's not like warm cookies or like cinnamon rolls. Nah, it's like onions,
Yeah.
just like
know, one-
gross stuff.
Kim was like, we're going to do this. We're going to be
Chitlins.
onions, sauerkraut. I was like, no.
It was bad.
I still laugh every once in a while about her Vienna sausages.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus, no. I said,
And you made her listen to some podcast all the way and not stop for the bathroom.
That was Mitch's trip.
I
to
told
the
her to
Tigers
tell me
game a
if
couple
she
years
needs
ago.
to stop.
No, that was to you, fam.
Oh, you
Yeah,
fam?
it was just her and I, and then the sausages, and then and we get there, and I'm like, no wet food in the car. She's like, no, you can't do that to me. I was like, no wet, and I looked at you. I was like, no wet food in the car because there's wiener juice dripping all the way down the passenger side door now.
And these are cars that we take people to treatment in. You know, we gotta
That's
clean them
what
and
I
keep
was
them nice.
saying.
You know, and so that's why we're saying like we try not to like do too much in there, man, because we'll respect the people we take. And Tim's in there just eating sausages, getting juice all over the door.
Pops out a can. I'm like, what do you do? I'm like, no, why? You better drink that juice real quick. Get that.
That's real good. Speaking of real good, let's go back to this conversation about people.
That's when Mitch invented smelly.
We saw that army truck and all that traffic and stuff. She about pissed herself. It was funny.
Well, I thought Corey and Marnie were going to get ran off. They were playing chicken.
Yeah, that was a crazy trip that time.
Yeah, that happened to us too.
Cool
That guy
drive
did it
nuts.
to us too.
I think we talked about the roundabout stuff, or did we? No, I don't even want to talk about that vacation. But there was something else I want to talk about. I just don't remember what it is. But we did get some laughs in today, so that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
And
Day 2 in a row of a podcast. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We're doing big things here.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to start doing it. And hopefully there's a plan in place that will allow us to do that a little bit more and kind of free us up to do a little bit more media friendly stuff. So we'll see and stay tuned for that. But yeah, we have tons of episodes. Thank you for listening. Thanks if you have the app. We appreciate it. And they say to put the 5-star on there, whatever, it helps people find it. So if you could do that, much appreciated. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. Listen to over 900 episodes on the 217 Recovery app that's free in your app store or online at 217recovery.com.